To the program. Of course, the budget that was signed about 18 hours ago has been receiving comments from Nigerians here and around the world. One of our viewers, Ikwemosa at IKPMS on Twitter, says the ERGP budget alignment, of course, as he's talking about what's being done today at the State House in the presidential villa, getting on the ground as far as 2018 budget says is extremely important as we seek a coherent economic policy narrative, and says thank you very much, Sir Professor Oshibajo, for signaling that our budgets going forward will follow the ERGP. That's a very important conversation. Let's bring in Pascal Udibo, who is the country group director for Jeff and O'Brien in Nigeria, who is a financial analyst as well, to talk to us this morning. What are his thoughts regarding these appropriations, in particular the predictable new fiscal year that the acting president says will have to be in line with the organized private sector calendar of January to December, a return to that missing link for the last couple of years. Good morning, Mr. Udibo, and thanks for coming through on the program. My straight question: what's your thought about this budget as it's been signed with little or no discernible difference?
Hello. Well, if you can hear me, thank you very much for inviting me. And my first thoughts are that it's a good thing. It's a good thing that the budget has finally been signed off. But again, of course, you understand that in our climate, the devil is always in the detail, and that's what we need to now focus our attention on. And I'm glad that the acting president has given the order that this has to more like bring to an end these incessant delays in the signing of the most important regulation in the year for our country, Nigeria. But having said that, I think that all the government agencies and parastatals need to now begin to work in a hurry. They need to hasten up and ensure that that is deliberate and hastened implementation of the details of the budget. I heard you say there's supposed to be an alignment with the EGRP. I believe very strongly that this is what gives that will give the necessary momentum to the EGRP. So let's just hope that some executive orders will come that will lead to evaluation, consistent and constant evaluation of the implementation of this budget. Nigerians are waiting, and I would like to see that sense of hurry, to implement this budget.
Well, implementing this budget, 2017 is on one hand, preparing the 2018 budget. And there seems to be now an overlap, as you said. The MDAs have to be in a hurry, and in a very great hurry, because if the new budget for 2018 would have to come on stream or be presented to the National Assembly in October, that means we have just about 4 months in between or thereabouts. So what do you think should be the first line of action moving forward, transiting from the budget that's been passed, signed into law, now to be implemented, and the bridge to the next future?
Okay, I've said it a little earlier on, and what I mean here is that the same office of the acting president must set the tone. These are what we will accept as minimum and irreducible standards in the implementation of this budget. In other words, we don't want by December you start telling us, or March, we're going to roll it over to March, because those are the things, those are the little details that make it impossible for you to transit from these incessant delays. The moment you keep, transferring and cross, as we are carpeting from one year to the other, albeit because they were not properly implemented, or there were still things to be implemented with the past budget, the more it becomes a lot more, people are going to become more lackadaisical to prepare the new budget. So I think that they should do what they're supposed to have done in 1 year in this 6 months, while another team sets the tone and the agenda and the documentation for the preparation and the passage both in the executive and the legislature of the 2018 budget. This definitely therefore means that they will have to work on the double. And this is possible, very, very possible. Listen, when the APC government came into power, they promised change. This is a critical opportunity for them to deliver change. They can do it. All they need to do is to rally themselves together and consider themselves missionaries, as it were, and bring a turnaround to this economy. Some of the agitations you're noticing in the regions is as a result of the fact that things don't seem to be working. They say that an idle mind is the devil's workshop. If people are busy, if the economy is roared up and ramped up to deliver, firing at full cylinder, there'll be little time for people to begin to discuss whether to stay or stay out of the marriage. So my take here is that government has a responsibility to rally this nation together and use economics to drive change in our country.
Well, I'm going to stick with this question a little bit, and let's work it out in terms of what is practical. You said this budget will have to be done in 6 months. 2017 budget. We're in June. So if the new budget for 2018 will be considered by October, passed in December, and signed on by the executive in December, that means the 2018 budget will become operable, say, technically, 1st January 2018. By that time, budget 2017 will just be 6 months into operation. This overlap is a good idea that we want to get back to a financial calendar that aligns with the private sector in the main, January to December, 99% as you may want to put it. But how would this work out in practical terms without causing a bit of a problem here if you put in 7.44 trillion naira in 6 months in this economy that our productive level is seriously underweight?
You know,